have a very special place in my heart, no matter how silly or simple they might seem. A lot of my friends tell or read poems at big special events. Harris, for those of you that met him, is one of my very best friends, and he's used to hearing poems from myself and friends at any of our like birthdays or weddings and things like that. But my love of writing silly, simple poems came from camp. It came from hearing people sing "Roses are red, violets are blue" when CITs are making, candle announcements and requests at BPN and things like that, or dining hall cheers. And in particular, and the two people behind me will appreciate this, but my real love of it came from OPJ when he used to tell me how to do like tribals poems and things like that. And so I think poetry has a really special place at Schodack as well. Hence, my ode to summer 2022. Well, here we all are once again, our last night together, when we are gathered under the stars-ish, enjoying the cool weather. Once again, we sit back and reflect on what we've learned before Doug and Eli set 2022 to be burned. So here it is once again, a new camp tradition has been born, a poem on the last night that isn't meant to feel forlorn. Instead, it should fill us with a summer's worth of joy as we look back on our memories, every girl and every boy. So no matter who you're with, cuddle up close, hold your friends tight, because we're all back together again just for one more night. That is, until next summer when we all come back together, drawn to this special place like birds of a feather. Though this summer has flown by at breakneck velocity, we know deep down that we have all left our mark on this dynasty. And though there have been moments of thunder and lightning, there have been more than a few moments that have felt enlightening. So before you now, I'll try and put our whole summer into rhyme as we all sit back and relax and think about the time that we've shared in this place, not just as our bunks, but as one whole camp. And I cannot promise that this poem won't leave a few eyes damp. This was going to be a normal summer, a time to restart. So we introduced a few new things like the chef's special cart. In fitness, we added all new spin bikes, and the adventure trips were back with whitewater rafting and new hikes. This year was a scorcher, and sun was the only weather. But it was perfect for special events like the wettest day ever. That's right, we had the inflatables back and the Kona ice truck, and not a drop of rain was in sight. It seemed we were in luck. Except, of course, for that first trip to Grafton State Park. The rain came hard but couldn't dampen our spark. In the first few weeks, the juniors had their ice cream party. And give us a cheer if you went to tie-dye and made your camp shirts arty. Seeing the dining hall with no plaques was certainly a change, and we might not have spent much time at the golf driving range, but there were some real high points like the Funplex trip. And down at the lake, we introduced the Mothership. We brought in musical bingo where we all danced and tried our luck to win the ultimate prize, a stack of bingo bucks. We added s'mores egg rolls to sweeten the deal. Summer 22 has surely been unreal. The Sequoia Boys rock talent show by making Bailey talk. And in the relay, campers demonstrated their best crab walk. The Dogwood Girls, Mahoganies and CITs won BPN. And like every other summer before, we sang Friends, Friends, Friends. Lindsay and Charlie made us feel special with the birthday song. And not booing Braden for evals would have probably felt wrong. And if you look up at horseback, you might never believe, once again we were lucky to have Cowboy Steve. Lindsay and Smelkin hosted Middle Camp's messiest day ever, and summer continued to be one of the hottest ever. Junior campers fired rockets that flew and went whiz, and the upper camp boys just wanted to get riz. For 2 days there was something strange in our neighborhood, because the ghosts around Schodack were up to no good. But the Ghostbusters got busy and sent those ghosts home by throwing a party on the hockey court, covering us all in foam. We had all camp Zumba with Ryan on one leg, and 4 tribals generals nearly got hit with an egg. And we welcomed back familiar faces like Kim the Boss Ross, while the waiters competed to see who was the biggest hoss. Favourite competitions were played like Rock, Paper, Sneerson, but for the second year in a row, it was Altschuler that won. Brielle Goldman and Chloe Schuella made the playhouse frozen, and at the tribals break, Jimmy Cepeda was chosen. Because things really ramped up for tribals with the spider computer that ended up with Eli jumping from the trees with his web shooter. Lily Ramsey returned with frog puns once again, and a few of us even tried to make Pepe the skunk our new friend. We had 3 mini campers this year, and Freddie, Micah and Lyle, and those 3 little people certainly had their own style. And with each little person, you find a nanny by their side, because in bunk G4, Flo, Reagan and Stella reside. As the leaves start to turn and we head into fall, we'll remember the Acorn Girls marrying a squishmallow to a beach ball, or when Eli disappeared to find funny feathers in the Arctic, or even Josh Pearl's comedy routine giving us all laughing fits. Dusty danced with ribbons on the rec hall steps, and the fitness centre was always busy with staff and campers doing reps. At BPang, you sang your hearts out and surely raised the roof. But how many of you really guessed Sophia Tennis was the Scoop Super Sleuth? Ultra Leagues was back and was perhaps the best it's ever been, with the O Squad taking victory in basketball over green. And black won the soccer in junior middle with lime green going hard, trying to win the triple. The gathering was back. We met there every day at 4 p.m. on the dot, taking a break from our play. And for one night only, Owen was OP Slay as the old spirits of tribals gave out spider gibbets, making everyone's day. On trip days, we went bowling, to the movies and even hiking, and Ben Pearl, Nussbaum and H-Cap tried to make us all Vikings with a clap above the head that was certainly never dull. All together now, one last time. Skull! 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 The Dogwood girls hosted a bunch of spa days, and senior 2 girls were always at hockey to stargaze. The maintenance boys even got a new ride, and we got an extension to the water slide. So sure you'll miss things like being in your bunks gibbets trading, or sneaking out at night to go dining hall raiding, or Kemp the storyteller telling us how the cat came back, and secretly we'll even miss playing games to see who stacks. But it's important to remember that when you're perhaps feeling alone, Schodack is always here. It's always your summer home. Even when you're not here and we feel far apart, Schodack will be right here, that warm fuzzy feeling in your heart. So it's almost time, when not now, but in a minute, we say goodbye because the summer's reached its limit. For there's no more to write, not in this chapter. Instead, we look forward to our shared common factor. Camp. It's in our minds. It's always in our hearts. And guess what? Tomorrow the countdown to summer 23 finally starts, when we'll wish away the time and want to be right back here, once again, huddled together, all of our friends so near. In the weeks and months ahead, we'll look at the yearbooks and the faces on those pages, and even though the wait for next summer may feel like ages, we can lie down at night, warm, at home in our beds, knowing that when we look up, we see the same sky above our heads. In that way, we're connected. We're always together, whether in fair or in dark, stormy weather. Camp isn't about winning at all costs or finding fame. It's actually not important who won the staff soccer game. Camp is about the little moments in between, the ones we don't realize we share, like a camper choice hangout, a late night chat, or when your friends are putting tinsel in your hair. It's about sharing dessert at dinner and eating cookies galore. So I guess we'll just have to come back and do it again, like a CIT encore. So I say again loud, hold those friends tight and cherish this moment right here, because it's the last night of camp, burning of the year. Any moment now, those numbers will burst into flame, marking the end of this summer, the end of our games. But one last thing before I go, there's never been any place quite like this one. So it really doesn't matter that this summer is now done. What is important, what really matters, is each and every one of you. And that we all keep sharing Schodack, living 10 months for 2. Thanks, everyone.